What's good? What's going on? It's your guy, DJ Yessai, back on one of my favorite Caribbean outlets, Virgin Islands outlets, one of the best podcasts we got going on around here. It's Dialogue 340. We got Richard in the back. He's going to be throwing out different topics. And of course, I'm joined by some great guest panelists. No strangers. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, though.
I'm Sha.
Chalana. Pleasure.
What's going on? So what we talking about today? We got audibles.
What is justice?
No.
Straight
in.
What
Don't even
is
tell me up a little bit.
straight
Let me
in?
talk about the sugar cookie or something.
I don't have the dictionary the definition, but what is justice to me?
What is justice to you?
Justice is just like for me, it's karma based. You know, it's basically are you living up to the consequences of the actions that you put out there, and it's kind of like a reap what you sow for me, you know, so that's why I'm careful about what I put out there because, you know, what I feel was right at some point, somebody may feel like I should be held accountable for that or have a consequence for it. And that consequence to them may be justice as well. You know, I don't know if I'm making sense regarding that, but it's just like a goes around, comes around. When justice comes back, you know, what kind of justice are you going to get? You know, you got to balance those scales. So sometimes justice kind of gets slapped to the next person because, you know, you didn't take accountability for whatever action you does. And that's why karma comes back into play because if you didn't get justice here, you know, with people, karma going to come back and make sure that
It comes, yeah, it'll come and branch off into different ways. I feel like accountability seems to be a cuss word here sometimes. You know what I mean? Or people take offense to even bringing something up. Well, you said this was going to happen. Well, why are you bringing that up? Just let it go. Nah,
I experienced that, yeah.
That whole just let it go. Nah, it'll stay there. It'll creep up into a different area and a different type of space. So
Yeah.
even just holding somebody accountable, I don't think should be a taboo thing.
The accountability is only a problem when the action was an issue. You know, so if I can take accountability for being a leader in, you know, civil rights and accountability for that, but are you also accountable for the lives that were lost because of your movement? And it's not a thing that I'm pointing and saying like that's wrong. It's just that you got to take the good with the bad. And some people just want to leave the bad where it's at. And that's, you know, that's where the issue comes in.
And I don't know what you guys have experienced, but definitely even in the past few months of just, this needs to be corrected. And it seems like in the Virgin Islands, you'll be the bad guy for trying to reach or at least flush out what's happened or details or accountability or truths that is like, we need to fix this. Well, I was like, I experienced something kind of recently and I had to tell the person, it's like, it seems like you're yelling at me for even having a conversation of something I didn't create.
Right.
And I'm addressing because it's going to lead to a further problem. And lo and behold, later on, that problem came to swing back and bite exactly what I said was going to happen.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, this will happen.
Yeah.
It ended up happening.
Yeah.
So is there a concept like personal justice and like how do you ensure like in your own walks that you're making sure people are accountable in your relationships? Because you're right, accountability is a weird thing, but I think in one-on-one relationships you can hold that accountability. So like how do you do that personally?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Because like relationships, like what? Like, so like I can't hold a lot of people accountable like in workspaces. You know what I mean?
Not?
I don't have
that's
I don't always have like the authority. Like you could call for it. And even in your family, like you're sort of sometimes, and it's arguable, you're stuck because like if you're in a scenario where the person is older or something for you, you kind of like could ask for it, but you're put in these positions where like even if they don't do it, you still have to show up as that person's family member. You still have to show up at the barbecue and everything, and you know the person is not being held accountable by the whole family, and then they sort of force you to just absorb, right?
Yeah.
Like it's your problem. I think Oprah talked about that too as well. You remember she said that her her uncle had molested her, and her father was like telling her to like just suck it up.
Yeah.
And she had to go to barbecues and everything with a gentleman. And so it's not to the extent, and I'm sure other people have experienced that, but that was just an example. But like, I've tried to hold people accountable in my family for certain things, and then it's just like, I don't know. How do that?
I want to swing back around. Do you have to go to the barbecue though? Do you really have to, or can you make your own path of, yo, this is messed up. I don't agree with this. I can't sit next to or be around this person for the actions. It may not be as deep as what Oprah went through, but I can't be around this situation now. If I got to be the outcast, I got to be the outcast.
I mean, of course, you do that, and this is what a lot of people experience. Is not just, we're talking about personal relationships. We're talking about being ousted in your job force and your job in relationships. Like, just be ready to walk a path alone. And yeah, I don't know how many people could do that. Like, they're reliant on like family support, family structure. We just talked about, I had a conversation about how much people need persons like in your life, especially like women who have children and so forth. Like, so how do you kind of say, like, I'm just going to stay away, but I need you to babysit for me on Tuesday.
Right.
No, I hear that, honestly. Okay, so being that I went through, I'm going through, it's never ending for me, a spiritual journey. Accountability starts with me. I stopped taking responsibility for other people. And when I say that is that I don't try to hold people accountable for their actions. I just make sure that my actions are sound, because when I do that, I have a moral code, I have a ethical way about me, and I have my own values. That is what I'm loyal to, not to people who I don't align with those moral codes and values. So when it comes to accountability, if I do something, I can stand resolute and say, and I would do it again. And I meant what I said. And sometimes you're going to have to be the villain in people's story just to stand on your own morals and boundaries and your boundaries above all.
I love you said that. Like it's okay to kind of be a villain sometimes. Because to me, like, that was the worst thing to be when I was a young woman. Like, I wanted to shield everybody. And then I'm just like realizing like, I'm drowning.
And that's why you kind of have to, the restructuring of your brain when you start like understanding who you are as a person, you have to like unlearn and relearn some things. You kind of have to parent yourself. Because I have to be in a mindset where it sounds bad, but you have to be a little bit self-centered because you're so people-centered all your life. You're so people-centered that when we were younger, just expressing yourself was a form of disrespect.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So now that I have my own child, I have to make sure that disrespect is disrespect, and just expressing yourself is just expressing yourself. Just because she has pulled me up. She'd be like, "Mommy, but you said," and I'd be like, "And you're right. And thank you for holding me accountable." And that's how you do it. Like, you're resolute in who you are and your beliefs. And I can put what I said back to someone. If they react a certain way, I'm not responsible for your reaction. I am careful with what I said, because that is also my value, is to not just like, you don't bully people into your beliefs. You can just say what I believe. If you agree with it, you don't. If not, okay. Like, that's fine. But I have to be right within myself. So then even when someone throws accountability my way, you be like, "You're right. And I did do that. And let's have a conversation." But it's not a, "Why would you do that?" No, let's talk about it. How did that affect you? And I consider it, but I don't hold responsibility in what you're going through. I don't know what you went through. Something that I said that was innocent could be a trigger to somebody else. And now I'm looked at like I'm just a bad person. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But that's your experience of it. And that's okay too. I wasn't there. I didn't do it, but I triggered you. And that's the accountability I'm willing to take. I did trigger you. I'm not taking responsibility for that trigger.
What jumpstart that whole thing of realizing, all right, it's the person in the mirror that's got to get dealt with first?
When I really had to take a look at what I was holding on to, what I was absorbing. Is this mine or is this someone else's? And you got to kind of start placing things where it is. Because if I'm trying to heal from stuff that I'm going through. I can't heal your things. I have to focus on what I need to heal so I can be better, for everyone.
Everybody,
If you actually want me to be a servant, I can't just serve you. I have to serve myself first. Like on the airplane, you put on your mask first.
and then
And once I can breathe, I'm in a better space to now navigate certain things. But I can honestly say, like, some things I had to heal from was like my attachment styles with people. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had my abandonment issues. And it's crazy where they came from. You would think like, oh, it's not a parent. Like, no, it was a friend actually. And I felt abandoned. And it's like you hold on to certain things and you don't realize like it wasn't their fault. I felt a certain way, but why did you feel that way? You start really tracing back your trauma and then you realize, damn, that was me this whole time. Like, that was not your fault. I took it, you know what I'm saying? And I probably projected some things onto you, but you really have to be one with self to start realizing what's yours and what someone else's. I have to stand firm and I cannot take responsibility for other people's things. I can help navigate by separating what is this and what is it, ask the right questions. But in order to do that, like, I can't be emotional in certain situations, but I do have to be empathetic. Like I have to feel and understand what you're going through. I don't got to take it on though. You know what I'm saying? So
what do you think? So like there's all these I love University of YouTube, right?
yeah.
So I know that psychology plays a large role. So there's the part of self-healing, which it looks like you do a lot of work in, right?
Yeah, so
but there,
so good.
and that's good. But there's also the contradiction because I was watching this gentleman and he talks about the 99 rules of power or whatever. Have you ever been previous? 48, right? Okay. And it was just like, to me, I was thinking like, oh my God, this is like manipulation because while you're like working and reflecting, right, you still have to deal with like the outward world, right? So if that person hasn't like come to a realization of some of their own flaws, right? Because I'm taking it to like, okay, you have your home and you have yourself. We have to go outward to being in a community, being in civic organizations, being at work, being at school, right? Like, how do you what we call cut and go through or manipulate situations because you know that person have to do work and right now you don't have the capacity to like deal with being like social, emotionally comforting to them, right? So it's like, I was like, how do I cut and go through from all these situations? So you were saying make people like sort of like accountable. And I was like, it's back to the scenario again where you're in a hierarchy at work at all these things. How do I hold somebody accountable that I have no authority over in that situation? So then it goes into like that, how much is it? 48? You just said
48 laws.
48 laws, right? Like, how do I use like sort of like those theories to help regulate myself in those situations? Like it says like you never let the authority know or outshine the authority. Because even if you're right, even if you're right, don't let them know that you have the right answer.
Yes.
So
you know what? That's also dealing with egos, but then there's also, I believe, the 48 laws of human nature, which gives you a little bit more. It's the power is the manipulation part of it. The human nature actually brings in the human aspect. So sometimes when they say one is masculine, one is feminine, it is not. It's just a human thing.
Yeah, human.
But the way that you do that is, especially with like don't outshine your master, you have to be diplomatic in a lot of situations. I do not have to like you to sit down and have a meaningful conversation with you. You got to separate your feelings from facts and logic and theory. When you start to do that, like, dang, I don't like what they did, and all that stuff. However, what is the goal? The goal is to get here. I don't like what you do, and I don't like how you do it. However, there are things that I can do to not necessarily, well, this is a better way to do it. You can just do it and then present it like, hey, if they decide not to take it on, you can go one of two ways. You can accept it or you can continue to fight for that thing. But also remind them, hey, we're all in the same goal.
Yes.
We're all part of the same team. I think we just tend to lose track of that. And so I just tend to be diplomatic and remove, certain emotions that are personal
Mm.
and just deal with the goal and the matter at hand. And that's what I mentioned, things have steps. Once I create steps and say like, okay, now this is a path that I can follow, you just got to get it done and stop worrying about like who I like and don't like. I don't like everybody here. I don't like everybody over there. But that's not the point in life, is to like people.
No.
You just have to get along to get the goal done. You know, and it might sound cold, but that is how I move forward with things. You know, and then, you know, we mentioned justice. I make sure that whatever I do, I always say 3 things: stay in the light, have receipts, tell the truth. That's something that I pass on, and I hold on to that, because when I have those 3 things, literally it just melodies from heaven, the message. You're guided differently. You're guided differently when you follow certain, like I said, morals, codes, and values. I know who I talk to and who I pray to every day, every night. You know what I'm saying? And I start my day off in prayers and meditation. So when I go into the world, first of all, I'm already set. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know, so I have to already prepare myself for the day. It could be I've had crazy days, crazy weeks, and I did not lose my cool because I know here's the goal. Just get through it. And once you hold on to your own values, you'll start to see people start to pick it up. And they start to respect you in a different way, because they're like, oh no, you can't bring that to her.
That's what I said. You have to make your own pathway sometimes.
Don't bring that to me, because you know I'm going to call it out. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But respect yourself first. Hold your own self accountable first. If I let something happen to me, I got to eat that.
Yeah.
That was my fault.
Yeah.
Because I knew and I saw it happen before, and I still let it happen to me. I can't say they did that to me. I let that happen.
Shanice is available between the hours of 8 to 10. Consulting with you might need contact dial at 3:40 for your appointment now.
No, you gotta eat it. Sometimes you gotta eat it. And honestly, can we cuss here? Can we cuss?
I don't know. With monetary, I don't know if it messes up.
It has to be for that.
Monetization.
Of course.
The 13
I'm not gonna
years.
say, but
Dialogue is rated PG-13.
when you eat something, sometimes it's hard to eat. It's hard to eat, but that's the same thing that you do to on other people. You know what I'm saying? And it's not in a negative way, but they're going to have to take it right back. It's going to stink, but you gave me that.
Right.
You gave me that to eat. You know what I'm saying? And it is going to stink. You know what I'm saying? I could have farted out glitter if you gave me glitter. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what you gave me.
This is exactly what you got.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to digest it, and I'm going to filter it.
About, like, that was just, like, speaks to our whole, like, experience here. As I mean, I like to think of myself as a global citizen, but that just speaks to, like, the Virgin Islands. Like, a lot of the complaining of young people. I was like, but what you get them?
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
Yeah, what
right.
you get?
Like,
So when they get you back where you thought you were.
Yeah, like, where you thought that came from?
Where'd that come from?
Look,
You.
I have my accountability is 10 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So my mirror, that's all it is a mirror. You know what I'm saying? People don't like what you show them. I just am a mirror, and I don't give people anything back. I show you yourselves.
The
And
reflection.
honestly, if it's too much in the trenches, I'm bowing out, because we are completely not aligned. You're not looking for help. That's okay. I only help those who ask for help. You know what I'm saying? If you come to me and say, hey, this is an issue, can you help me through this? I don't really like to give unsolicited advice, because then I become the person they blame when stuff don't work out.
Shanice said,
Don't be that.
blame me.
Don't be
It wasn't me.
Right.
Don't ask me nothing what you don't want to hear.
Dialogue 340. So I love that. I love the energy. How does that help you to create your own paths in life, though? All of that, having personal space, having personal boundaries, seeking justice within personal relationships, knowing the 48 laws of human behavior. Please read Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws of Power. It's a must read for everyone. And also Art of Seduction, if it's
It's
necessary.
incredible.
I don't know if everybody needs to read that book, because there's certain laws. I don't know if everybody needs to be armed with that type of.
Maybe I would say the laws of human nature is probably like the one that's not.
But for it, no, I mean, no, it definitely is, but it also protects you. I feel like in martial arts, they don't create bullies. You know what I mean? It's supposed to learn certain tools, use them, and it is self-defense. So
Yeah, martial
48
arts is
laws
about
is definitely
control.
a great.
You know, when MMA fighters and all that stuff, they can't just go out on the street fighting people. They're weapons.
Right. They have to
Jail.
register. Yeah.
You know, they're registered. Like when people say my hands is registered, that's a real thing. So you have to be very disciplined. You got to know when to walk away. And that accountability is different, because it's like you as a boxer can hit who you want.
Right.
Consequences for your
Yeah,
actions. And you have to be able to take that on. Like, no, yes, I got hit in the face. Yes, I want to hit you back, and I could hit you and knock you out in one blow. But I know that you're not to the capacity where I am, and that's where you got to take it to with mentality. You look crazy arguing with a stupid person. You look crazy.
You'll look stupid.
Yeah, but you don't go to somebody and say you're stupid. You see that a lot with like MAGA people. You don't go to MAGA people and be like, that's just stupid. You start asking them proper questions like, what made you think that? Well, what is the law or the something that supports that?
Yeah.
And then
it makes
their own.
look.
You can't blame me. I asked a valid question. Ask valid questions, but you got to separate yourself because easily what they say can piss you off and put you in your emotions. But when you know that you're approaching, if you know you're approaching someone who is not at the same level as you are in martial arts, mentality, in spirituality, you look crazy going to this person and expecting them to know what you know or understand what you understand when you know they don't. So now you start just holding up that mirror like, well, what do you see? Because if you said you see a red
stone at the mirror,
blue, well, what does blue look like to you? I don't say that's wrong. Like that's red. No, it'd be like, well, what do you interpret this as? Because when we see it, this looks red. But why do you see blue? And then you'd be like, what do I see? Maybe I got brain damage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Asking questions.
From what I've seen, they'll probably break the mirror, outlaw mirrors. No mirrors. They're gonna be. Don't like the images.
Such is life. I'm gonna keep mine though. You can't tell me what to do in my house. I'm gonna hold that.